How much time does Trump have left? Let's really talk. There's only four ways we're getting this guy out of office. It's either assassination, which I'm totally against, or it's going to come down to Epstein, or it's going to come down to grifting, or it's going to come down to his death. Let's talk about each one step by step. First of all, I am totally against any form of violence whatsoever in general. Plus, any violence that happens to him will do nothing but martyr his name and really gather the MAGA base to stand behind him in 26 and 28. We don't want that happening. And in general, hopefully you're all good people like me and you don't want him actually being assassinated. But there's another option there, which is what if he dies of natural causes? I have predicted as early as this year he could go, but between 5 to 7 months, 5 to 7 months he has left. And that's according to doctors who have been all across social media saying, he doesn't look good. And he's probably ready to have a double heart attack over number 3, which is Epstein. Epstein has haunted him today so bad. You know, I'm a big believer in the law of polarity, which says nothing's all bad and nothing's all good. So we had some horrible news this weekend with those 8 cowards turning on us, and we were pissed off, didn't know what to do. We felt so down, but there was a good thing that came out of it, wasn't it? We ended up getting the Arizona person to swear in, and sure enough, now we can release the real Epstein files, and it can be certified by 2 groups. 1, the victims' attorneys who know what's in it, and 2, Garcia, the head of the oversight committee, who's done an excellent job, by the way. He really has. He really has. So you can get these certified. But Garcia did something extra. He had subpoenaed and basically gotten a subpoena from the Epstein estate, which is freaking Trump out at this very second. Why is that freaking him out, you might ask? Because it's not adding up what Trump was saying. I've had nothing to do with Epstein. I've cut ties with him. You got emails of Epstein talking about him, Ghislaine Maxwell, one of the victims he was with for hours. He says he's not with these people, yet at the same time, they got him with these people. And sure enough, it also certifies, it seals the idea that he could pardon Ghislaine Maxwell, because if he does, it just proves that he is absolutely codified to that. He is. So by all means, I want you to really lock in and understand that this guy's in a whole lot of trouble. You can go under my last video in my channel and see where I got the link to those very files. There's 20,000 pieces of them, images and text, and creators are coming left and right, and the news are coming left and right with tons of insights on this. And one of the biggest insights is, he knew Ghislaine Maxwell, so Ghislaine Maxwell lied, and he can't pardon her, or else it proves the point of what we were saying from the files that are coming out from Epstein's emails from 2011. Also proves that he was with these victims. It didn't say he did anything with them, but he was definitely with them. And it also proves that he was communicating to Epstein much longer than he had said he was communicating with Epstein. So there's a lot there that is right in your face that tells us what's going on with him. So again, we're talking about 1, assassination, God forbid. 2, his health, good chance. I'm not wishing death on this man, but there's a good chance, given what he is. He's about 30 years older than me, and he's in trouble. And then we're talking about 3. 3 is the Epstein files that could get him out the door. Here's the interesting part about the Epstein files that could get him in trouble. Once he's out the door, he's open season on everybody. It's open season on his ass. And I'll talk about that a little later. Here, you're going to love to hear this, because I'm going to talk about who's going to jail and who's in trouble. But then let's talk about jail. Speaking of which, grifting is number 4. I said that is assassination, which we don't want any violence. I said is his health, 5 to 7 months he probably has, if not sooner. I said Epstein files, which he's darn near ready to have a heart attack and do number 2 anyway. But then number 4 is the grifting. Nobody talks about that enough. You know, there's roughly 9 different investigations happening on the Trump administration in relation to everything from grifting to Supreme Court. Nobody's saying nothing about it. It is my opinion alone, just based on some simple sources. And I'm not going to reveal, but it's my opinion alone on this. I talk about this in the Clarity group. Got to sell on the Clarity group. Go in the description or go on my homepage and join, or not. Here's the thing. I want you to understand while it's open. This grifting thing is the number one thing you need to watch out for. Number one thing, y'all. The grifting. That is the biggest thing. That's something that could get you removed from presidency and anything else in government. They got big laws all over the place saying you're not supposed to be doing everything that he's doing, everything his people are doing. They're encroaching upon everything. Not only could he go to jail, but as I said, I estimate that 70% of his cabinet will go to jail or get as close as they can to jail. The only reason I don't say 100 is because the other 30% going to turn into 70% state's evidence, so they don't have to go to jail. Facts. The only way Pam Bondi don't go to jail is if she give up other people. The only way Stephen Miller don't go to jail, same thing. But I believe Pam Bondi, Stephen Miller, let me call it off. Pam Bondi, Stephen Miller, Tulsi Gabbard, Pete Hegseth. I know Tom Homan, the border czar, who's been very quiet lately because he got caught with $50,000 he took from federal agents. I don't care if it's the Trump administration. They're not getting away with it. They're getting a weight with it. Remember that. They're getting a weight with it. In other words, wait for it. Our government is slow as hell. We all know that. But here's the thing we know, too. If you look at the history, operation, and laws of our government, it very clearly points out something very important. Nobody's getting away. They're going to catch him. It took years to get the President of the United States, Nixon. They got Nixon. They're going to get this guy. And the grifting, no brainer. No brainer. Even before the 2004 election. But guess what's interesting? One of those 8 elections, one of those 8 investigations I talked about, is also the Doge Boys. The Doge Boys can give up Elon. Plus, the Doge Boys work with Elon on the election. There's a lot that can be revealed. A lot is coming out over the next coming years. But the first thing that's going to happen is this man, Donald Trump in trouble. He in big trouble. Big. With the grifting and the other 3. He's going down one way. So how long can he last? Let's ask that question. Well, number 1, assassination-wise, he could last through the whole tour because Secret Service is great, and I hope he stays safe. I hate the guy, but I don't want to see him assassinated. Number 2, health-wise, he's going to have some serious changes to his lifestyle. And I'm speaking as a person who made serious changes to mine. Number 3, the Epstein, he's done for. Stick a fork in him, he's done. And number 4, the grifting, again, stick a fork in him, he's done. This guy has walked himself down this plank before, over and over and over again. I want you to understand something. This is a patience in the process. So let's talk about number 1. Obviously, if number 1 happens, immediately J.D. Vance is president and we end up having this memorial. You think they memorialize Charlie Kirk. Think what they would do with this guy. I don't want to see this man hurt. I don't encourage anybody to hurt this man or anybody else. Please don't hurt him because it actually hurts our cause. You make a martyr out this guy and get tens of millions of MAGA people going crazy. No, we don't need that. Look at what they did to poor HBCUs, shootings and going after them. For real. Like it was like Remy and Higher Learning, the movie, like crazy. Let's talk number 2, health. How long will it take? Again, if you don't make a serious reverse about turn, he's got the best doctors in the world with him. But if you don't make a reverse and about turn, and he doesn't handle his stress levels, it's going to be a problem. That's why he gets out of bed and in the middle of the night he's doing all these crazy tweets. It's insane. Here's number 3. Epstein. Epstein is just a matter of months, y'all. Seriously. They're going to release the rest of the files. The files they got from the estate are damning. And that's enough to make the headlines for months, for weeks and months. Because people finding new and new information. We talk about 20,000 pieces of information. I read through some of this stuff, and it's crazy. You're going to hear me doing more videos on this. Seriously. Hopefully I've earned your subscription if you haven't. Here's the thing. I'm really looking at this and I'm like, whoa, this is a lot. And now imagine that plus the actual files. They got him. They got him in a lie just from the estate. Just from the estate. It's a smoking gun. Big smoking bazooka. But in the actual evidence that they have locked up, it's on. And the Republican Congress knows it too. Because Lauren Boebert and the other Republican, they got called in to speak to Trump, and Trump tried to pressure them to back off it, to hide it, to do something. They refused. They stood tall today, the Republicans. They did something the Democrats don't do. Stood tall. And so with the Republicans set to go after him, and with the evidence that's already out, proving that he knew Epstein, he knew Ghislaine Maxwell. I mean, these emails are damning. They're damning. And then on top of that, when you add that into whatever he was doing with them girls, whatever them victims say, also you add into any pictures, anything they might have even remotely incriminating, man, it's going to look ugly for this guy. They're going to get him. So again, assassination will be immediately, which we hope option 1 they don't do. Please, nobody put violence on the president. That's just, no, we don't do violence on anybody. Option 2, he dies of natural causes. And again, he won't be, of course, a martyr at that point. Martyr to a cheeseburger. Shit, I'd be a martyr to that. I mean, come on. But he will be out as president. J.D. Vance, we have to watch like a hawk. And he will be out the door. But Epstein list, that's when they'll probably start releasing everything after he's gone in both cases, which wouldn't matter, but it would definitely make a harm on his legacy for sure. The third one, Epstein list, pulling him out of there, would make it very interesting. See, the last two, Epstein list and grifting, makes it interesting because it removes him as president, as a living president, but then he becomes a target, not only civilly, but also target criminally. They could bring up criminal charges depending on what they have. Now, who's they? Pam Bondi, the rest of them, they probably won't bring up criminal charges. But here's the good news that nobody's talking about. That's why you're on this channel. The states can get his ass, no matter what state he's in. They can get him. Especially if it's in New York. Letitia James would love that. Woo! If they could catch him in New York. Woo! And Attorney General Letitia James, bring the Empire State Strikes Back. Yeah. Going to Jail. Yes, he's going to Jail. He'd be in trouble. Same thing with the grifting. You get hit with criminal charges. All this money they made off to the side, and they think they're getting away with it. That's the crazy part. They're not getting away. Like I said, they're getting away with it. They could get him, the grifting could remove him inside of a year and have him out the door. The Epstein would have him faster. Him passing away, of course, within 9-7 months, he would be gone. Assassination is immediate, which we don't want in any way whatsoever. So which one is the most likely? For the next few minutes, I'll talk about that. He's got 5 to 7. I think he's got excellent Secret Service security. So God forbid anything happens to the guy. I don't want to see anybody hurt. No violence, zero violence, no assassination. Number 2, the chances of him dying out health-wise is high because he gets to do what he wants, and I don't think he's listening to those doctors. And number 3, with Epstein, he could go out even sooner because the GOP is ready to pull the trigger both in the House and the Senate on this pedophile stuff. They know this is the only thing this would be political suicide to support this guy. And they're preparing people slowly. They're saying it could be worse. It could be much worse than we think it is. And then number 4, the grifting would take more time. That would take within the year. But even then, there would be cases and criminals and blah and blah. Look how long it took to get them cornered up in New York for the fraud cases and lose his business license. I mean, this is what we're talking about. We got a process here. Which one would I rather see happen? Get him removed on? I would rather see the Epstein case. I don't want him to die. He eventually gonna do that, but that ain't the question. Let's have him in the Epstein case, because if he's Epsteined out of here, out of his presidency, then guess what? He becomes a target to everybody out in them streets. No more immunity, bitch. No more immunity. Whereas if he dies, that's God's situation now, Judgment Day, whatever. And if he is doing the grifting, he has tried his way to delay everything, every how. So that could take earliest a year or longer. That could be an ugly, ugly process. But the no-brainer process, let's get him, let's tear him down, let's put him out, is the Epstein option. That's why this is so powerful. That's why this has been his kryptonite. This has been his kryptonite. That's why we knew the Epstein stuff was going to be rough, because he was so afraid of that. He didn't even take the victory lap with the shutdown. Usually Trump takes a victory lap. That's why everybody was like, wait a minute. He had a chance to brag to the press and he didn't. And he got humble and quiet. Oh no, humble and Trump. That ain't even an option. So basically what we're talking about is Donald Trump who's scared to death. He's at panic mode. And he knows it's just a matter of time before they get that ass. And I think option number 3 with Epstein is going to be the best option, because it's going to remove him, make him a target as a non-president, both civil cases and both criminal cases. They could come after him. If they can find any evidence he was doing any of this stuff in the state of New York and let Letitia James come after that ass, ooh, return, boy. And there's nothing he could do. There's nothing he could do. And President J.D. Vance can't pardon him. I know some of you think that. Oh, they could pardon him if he's in trouble. No, you can't. Not if it's a state prosecution. Presidents can't pardon people from state prosecutions. Or else he would have pardoned himself from his own state prosecution and not been the first felon president. So this Epstein thing, we need to continue moving forward with this. And from what I've seen on the Republican side, this might be the thing that they have to do to get him. This might be the only thing that they can cross over. See, I know many of those Republicans wanted to get him, but they knew better, because the MAGA base would destroy them both in elections and threaten their life. But with pedophilia, that's a no-brainer. They're coming after him. They got no choice. And MAGA was pissed at there's no Epstein files. So, that kid, that's a safe bet to come after his ass from the Republican right. And looks like it's going to happen. It's just a matter of time. I don't know what kind of Spengali move that Mike Johnson's going to try to move. Or I don't know what kind of tricks they'll try to pull, because they always pull tricks. I don't know how many of these Democrats will cave. Huh, I know. We all thinking, will they cave? Don't know. Don't know. Will the caving 8 show up? Not that it will make a difference. It sounds like both in the House and the Senate, they got an overwhelming majority, everybody. So it's just a matter of time. We're talking about a months before he's gone. If he doesn't go out in 5 to 7 months dying. Okay, and again, I think it's highly unlikely he gets assassinated, which I don't hope any harm or violence on anybody. But it's highly unlikely too, because we got excellent secret services. And I don't want to see anybody harmed. Let's just get him out for Epstein. And when he's out of Epstein, now he's a target as a regular citizen, and he doesn't have that immunity. Maybe even the Supreme Court might actually start acting like the Supreme Court when he's done. That's my thoughts. Check out my next video. Hopefully I earned your subscription, maybe. But other than that, that's the latest.